by grabbing an old tank top of your size. Knitted fabric, a cover stitch sewing machine, and this is a Singer Professional 5, and a serger, and all the links will be available in the description below, so go and check that out. And you are going to want a tank top with side seams because this is where you're going to cut up to get your pattern, and it's a lot easier to use those seams as guidelines. So cut all the way up on both sides. And then next you're going to want to cut both shoulder seams. So you should end up with one front panel and one back panel. Now go ahead and lay your front panel on your fabric and trace around and cut it out. Be sure to give yourself about a 1/4 inch seam allowance around that edge. This will make up for the seams you already cut. This is where you can kind of adjust the length of it. You don't have to go all the way to the bottom. If you want to make it shorter, you can stop a little bit before it. And then again, go ahead and cut it out. And then go ahead and do the same thing for the back panel. And now we're going to use a French curve and make that Racerback look. So all you have to do is kind of take it in just a little bit towards the middle of the back panel. And just use that French curve to kind of work around and find the best look that you want. And then reconnect it back towards the bottom of the armhole. And then once you're satisfied with your curve, go ahead and cut that out. And again, I recommend keeping this folded while you do it so you get two symmetrical ends. And then go ahead with right sides together, just so one of those shoulder seams. Now we're going to be hemming off the bottom with a double fold bias tape binder, and the link for this is in the description below. You can use any size you want. We're using a little bit bigger one, so that way we get a little bit bigger of a hem. And as you can see, you cut your bias tape out of the same fabric and you feed it through, and it makes for a nice edge. And we are showing this method because a lot of t-shirt companies are starting to do this new method, and it's really minimalistic and looks very good. And you don't have to buy extra ribbing. You can just cut it out of your same fabric, or if you want to use a different knit, go ahead and do that, switch it up with some different colors, but we're just using all the same fabric. You can get ones that fit machines, but we just found this one laying around and we taped it on and it works just as fine. But you can get ones that are specifically designed for your machine, but all in all, they're pretty universal and you can tape them on if you have to. Now we're going to be adding bias tape to that neckline, so go ahead and put your bias tape attachment on and feed it all the way through. And all you have to do is feed it close to that edge and just let it sew all the way through. And then go ahead and do the same thing for that armhole. And this is all on the same shoulder that you sewed together the seam. Now go ahead, take the other shoulder seam, place right sides together, and stitch that across. And now we're going to sew up one of the side seams, and this is the side seam that you already attached the bias tape to the armhole. And then lastly, go ahead and add your bias tape to that other open armhole. Go ahead, place right sides together and sew off your last side seam. And we're going to be hemming the bottom a little bit differently than adding bias tape. So all you have to do is roll that edge over and just do a hem all the way around. And we're using the cover stitch for this. And this is a pretty standard hem, and we're doing about a 1/2 inch roll. And that is a nice thing about having a cover stitch. You have so many options to do with stretchy fabric. And then for the final touch, we're going to go ahead and do a little top stitch on all the areas where the bias tape meets. And all you have to do is fold over that seam and just do a little tack stitch. And this will make those areas stronger and also make for a nice flush look. And that is how you make a Racerback. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you think, and we'll see you next time.